What's going on, Vintage Gamers, Twitch chat, YouTube? This is a Vintage Challenge, 625-22. I'm trying to test some theories, and I'm resurrecting Pullman-style mono green depths. So you are a Elvish Reclaimer Dark Depths Thespian Stage combo deck, which gives you access to things like main deck Strip Mine, main deck Caracas, main deck Bog, to help versus the current metagame. You also can become a 4 Shepherd deck, which makes your spells uncounterable against the counterspell decks. And then you are, a very turbo tutor land deck with crop rotation scrying, Once Upon a Time. And you are, I don't know about these needles yet, but 4 needles in this metagame might be good. Unsure. You get to play some powerful sideboard cards with Vigors, Endurances, and Oofs. That's 10 extremely strong sideboard cards against what's going on right now. So this is the idea. The idea is, besides Beseiju in response, like a Resolve 2020 is pretty impossible for Hogaak to beat. You have access to main deck Strip Mine, Tabernacle, Bog, and Caracas to help with the Hogaaks as well. And then like the rest of the metagame kind of revolves around counterspell decks and combo decks. And those are kind of the same thing, counterspell combo decks. So hopefully playing Allosaurus Shepherd will mean that my green spells become uncounterable, and I can do the thing. So not exactly, again, my style of deck. And I don't really know the ins and outs of depths, as well as I'm sure some legacy pilots would, or even Max Pullman. But I think we can learn as we go, and it should be straightforward enough that I think this is a deck like Shops that is heavily involved, or mulliganing is probably the most important part of this deck, which, we should put a lot of thought into those decisions, and the sequencing is like second. Yeah, also no blue spells against Pyroblast seems like it could work, though we are playing against 8 casts to start. Let's see how that goes. All right. Exciting news, everyone. I have just launched a new Patreon. There, you can show support for my content, grab additional weekly metagame recommendations, and even submit a donation deck list. Donation deck lists are the most frequently asked question on my channel, and I feel I am now ready to support this new content. Please check out the rules for submissions on the Patreon link in the description, and thank you for your continued support of my channel. Let's battle. All right, here we are, round 1, Vintage. What do we have? We've got turn 2 2020. On the draw versus a deck with, probably has repeals. It's 8 cast, almost assuredly, after they've top 8'd their last tournament. They're on 0 repeals currently. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one. Is there any way to do things fast? I guess not. Keep. I don't know. Like, I don't want to play a long Saga game, so I see no reason to have Saga as a tutor target. It just doesn't seem good to me. Like, this deck is very streamlined to do the depths thing, so let's see what we can do. Obviously, this hand is all in on my thing, and if they just tinker me, I die, but we'll see what happens. I'm just playing a Yavimaya. I didn't see Tomb anywhere. You don't really need Tomb in Vintage very often for these style decks because you play off-color Moxen instead. All right, so they've seen my Verdant Catacombs. Is there any plus or minus to playing Stage or Depths on turn 1? I guess. Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't really change anything, right? Like, there's no real reason for me to play an Allosaurus Shepherd. I'm definitely gonna play Lotus first, so that hopefully it doesn't get countered. And then I guess like Stage in case they were to get rid of my Lotus somehow and I could copy something. I don't see any good reason to play Shepherd. We just play stage and go to the next turn and make a 20/20. I guess my opponent could have like a main deck Needle. Do they have a main deck Needle in their Saga deck? I don't think so. I don't think Acast has that kind of room. Oh, they do. Okay. So main deck Needle is like an annoying thing that could technically happen. I don't think there's no Wastelands in their deck, so there's no real reason to not just wait on the 20/20. Drawing the Once Upon a Time after the Lotus is annoying. I guess I can maybe Spirit Guide and Once Upon a Time at the end of step as well, in combination with this. I do know that I'm supposed to copy the Depths and then keep the one that has no counters. I do know at least that much. Okay. Okay, so 2, 3, 4 mana. I mean, they can still tinker and win. This is an Urza. Okay. So they have 2 mana left. And Thoughtcast. Sure. And that should just be it. All right. Another Thoughtcast. Yeah. All right, now it should be it, right? All right, cool. Well, both teams fought hard. I can see why they kept their hand. Like, obviously, it has significant power to it, but it is a slow hand. So we definitely made them have it, and they didn't have it. So I want Chalice. Do I want Chalice on the draw? I'm not sure. I want Vigor, Chalice, and Collector Roofs. I mean, that feels like a really solid sideboard plan. Now we have to figure out how to cut cards. We don't need a Bajuka Bog. We don't... I don't think Caracas might be good against if they're playing Emery and Urza. I might keep Caracas. I don't think I need a Tabernacle, though. I don't think I need a Ghost Squirter either. And then I don't need a Safekeeper. I don't need... Do I need any needles? I don't really feel like I need needles because they don't have Wasteland, right? I feel like that's not a necessary card to have here. And then... I mean, I already like the look of how this is changing. Maybe I just trim a scrying. Oh, it's too many things. All right, I mean, this is a really nice mapping, though. I like that. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. It's pretty nice mapping. I mean, I feel like their hand, if they had a Forcible in their hand, makes a lot of sense. Okay, I have a Vigor, I have a Once Upon a Time, I mean, this looks fine, right? So I think the format is not really in a place where it's not Saga World anymore. Like, Hogaak and combo-based decks are the main things you're playing against. Hogaak, combo, and aggro shops. So, I mean, I guess aggro shops, you could say. I don't think it's a main deck Vigor oof world. Like, I want to do my 20/20 thing, and then if Vigor's good, I'll bring in Vigor. I just think the metagame is definitely evolving in Vintage right now, and I don't think that, like, if you're playing oofs and Vigors in your main deck, you're just sabotaging your matchup versus the most played deck in the format, which is Hogaak, right? The most played deck is not Tinker anymore. So I'm going to let this resolve, and when they target their Mana Vault with it, I'm going to just blow the shit out of them. Fuck. Do I respond to that? So this lets them get a bunch of colorless mana. All right, well, first let's Once Upon a Time and see what we find. I found a Forest, an Allosaurus Shepherd, or a Reclaimer. I guess. I mean, I'm probably casting the Vigor this turn, so I don't think Shepherd matters. I think I'll just take a Reclaimer. So the question is, do I want to give them 3 more colorless mana, but possibly turn off this Opal? I think the answer is yes. I'm trying to get rid of the Spirit Guide. Because the Scrying is getting... Well, I don't need the Scrying if I have a Reclaimer. Maybe I can get rid of the Scrying. So my opponent gets to go up to a bunch of colorless if they want, up to 4 colorless. But I think possibly taking them off of Opal makes more sense. I don't think that killing the Key makes sense. I think I would rather kill the Vault. I could be wrong. Like maybe I'm supposed to just hit Vault and Key. I was really hoping my opponent was going to untap first, but... Okay, yeah, sure. That makes sense. That's not a huge deal, though. They're down to 2 cards. Yeah, maybe not hitting Key is wrong. Oh, they got Reclaimer? That's interesting. I guess me pitching Scrying and them going Reclaimer makes sense. Man, Thoughtcast at the end of it. It's pretty good. That's a solid hand. That is a solid hand. So now it's kind of awkward, but I guess I can still like just Rip Stage or Crop Rotation, so Wasteland. I don't see any reason not to... Oh, I guess I could have gone Yavimaya so I could play Dark Depths on the next turn. Yeah, probably should have done that. I just didn't want to give them access to a green... I don't think that makes sense. There's no reason to care about giving them access to mana. All right. Yeah, Collector Roof is probably a game over here as well. Or Vigor is pretty nice as... I'm just going to Wasteland their Seat. I just don't want them to have a blue mana. So by hitting the Vault, I turned off Metalcraft. Like, they ended up having another artifact. But, like, I want there to be a possibility that they can't cast Thoughtcast, right? So if my opponent doesn't have Force of Will or Flusterstorm, then I just win the game on the spot. I don't know if they would keep in Flusterstorm. I'm just going to kill Key and Needle, and that should just be game. If it resolves. All right, they had Force. All right, so they have Force pitching Urza. They're down to 1 card. Okay. So it's kind of an interesting game. If I had chosen to take Allosaurus Shepherd, we would be in a better spot. Maybe they would... I mean, they would have named... Okay, we actually hit Crop Rotation. Wow. All right, so if I... how do I do this? So if I play Dark Depths and Crop Rot for a stage and then play Yavimaya on the next turn, then I can make a 20/20, I assume, right? I guess I could theoretically just play Yavimaya right now and not... Well, no, I want there to be a state... Well, I guess there would be a Depths in play anyways. I don't know if it matters. I'm going to say it doesn't matter. Should I just Crop Rot right now to deal an extra 3 damage? Probably. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay. Well, I'm an idiot. I just like thought about it, didn't do it. Oh no, I'm gonna be short mana, right? No, I have Cryo. Okay, so yeah, I'm stupid. I should have... There's no reason because there's no negation in the deck. So I should have just gotten the extra 2 damage, but I don't know how much that matters. Okay. They have top Mana Vault. 1 card in hand. Top is pretty good. Might help them find like Time Vault or something. This Yavimaya looks insane. I hit Vigor. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that will matter. Or maybe fortunately, I don't know. All right, so right now I have 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana. Nice. This is really cool. Glad I included Yavimaya in my deck. I don't know how many Yavamayas is the right number. I just put 1 in, but maybe I'm supposed to have more Yavamayas. I didn't really think about that. I like got scared because of Legendary Land, but it's possible I just want a ton of these in my deck. I didn't see any. I saw a Legacy list that had 4, but there hasn't been a Vintage list yet since Yavimaya was printed. So is this Tinker? I just lose. That's disgusting. It's so fucking frustrating. What a sick top deck. That's so insane. That's really gross. What a so gross. It's all right, fair enough, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's insane. I don't know. Like maybe they had Tinker that whole game and they just you know, they hit Emery and the Emery brought back the Vigor. I don't know. It's possible I made a misplay that game and my initial Vigor should have been later, but I don't really think that's the case. I think like making them have another artifact to cast a thought cast or something seems really important. All right. Well, I have turn 1 double oof against 8 cast, so we have a chance. So here I want to go Jet, Lotus, oof. Just to use or at least float mana. I have an oof. All right, I'm gonna play both just for clock reasons. All right, my opponent has to beat 2 collector oofs as 8 cast. Is that a possible thing? I don't know. I guess they have a Saga, but they played Saga on turn 1 and they can't make any mana. Maybe they have a Dismember. All right, well now I can get like Wasteland as well. I mean, this is going away. I don't know what this is doing. Unless they have Island Time Walk here. Oh, and more Sagas. Don't really understand. Like, Saga is just a vanishing land right now. All right, I think I'm going to hold the Shepherd and go for a Wasteland, probably, or a Strip Mine. I don't have to hit the Saga, though, because the Saga just goes away. Like, the worst thing that could happen is my opponent draws, like, their 1 island, right? I guess Academy. Oh, I didn't do that. Okay, that was really bad. I forgot about that shit. That's my fault. I wasn't even thinking. I'm so bad. Okay, well. I don't think it matters because they're on a turn 2 clock, but a 2-turn clock, but I should. There's no reason I shouldn't have a Wasteland here. Not that the Wasteland is doing anything anyways, but I didn't really play well this match, but it is what it is. Oh, now they're gonna get my Misty. I don't know what I'm doing over here. I just said I don't care anymore. Beat my 2 oofs, and my opponent's deck just physically can't beat 2 oofs. So okay, don't ever copy any of the play from that game. Jeez. Okay, yes, round 1 victory. Great success. All right, here we are. Round 2, Vintage Challenge, Mono Green Depths. Looks like we're going to be up against maybe 4-color Lurrus, 5-color Lurrus, or Mono White Lurrus, one of the two. I don't know what One Way Garden has been playing recently, but this pause usually means that there is a companion being revealed. I'm just going to do the thing with the stuff. They're also in a cube draft, so could be some amount of waiting. Let's see what it's like. One way. All right. The last time they registered a deck was in February, where they played Bant Archon. So hard to say if this Lurrus means mono white or if this Lurrus means 5-color control. I have turn 1, Once Upon a Time, plus Sylvan Scrying for a stage, giving me a turn 3 2020. A turn 3 2020. Or if I hit a stage on my Once Upon a Time, it's a turn 2. No, it's still a turn 3 2020. I don't know if that's good enough. I don't know. Let's try it. Against a Lurrus deck, that might be good enough. I'm interested to find out. Let's find out together. Thanks, Riley. Noted. Was Fastbond a consideration? No, I don't really think so. I don't know. I have never found Fastbond to be particularly an enticing card. It feels like you need too many lands to make it work. I'm not a huge fan. All right, so I missed pretty hard on this Once Upon a Time, but I did find a Wasteland, which could help depending on the matchup. Yeah, I mean, I understand why we would want to possibly have a Fastbond. The only thing I'm thinking right now is it's quite possible I am not playing enough Yavamayas. That is something I'm considering being a mistake. It certainly feels like Yavimaya just sounds nuts. Like if this forest was a Yavimaya, I guess maybe it doesn't matter, but no, Fastbond never really. After being unrestricted, Fastbond was tried, but there aren't very strong decks utilizing Fastbond. All right, so a Deathrite Shaman makes my Wasteland plan kind of poor. The good news is this Thespian stage is not really weak to Wasteland because I can turn it into a forest. In fact, I probably should just play Thespian stage and turn it into a forest. So I guess the Dark Depths is a little weak to a Wasteland, but I could Wasteland their Wasteland. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play a Thespian stage and copy this forest. This also doesn't put a land in the yard for their Deathrite Shaman. I don't know. They can't play Oko because they're a Lurrus deck. So unless they like have a... Okay, so they do have Wasteland. But like I said, I can just Wasteland their Wasteland. Oh, they're going to tap the... Oh, they have Time Walk. Okay, fair. So I really like this so far. The way this is played out looks good. Like if they have a second Wasteland, it's kind of annoying. Second Wasteland, okay. We could draw like a needle. Draw another stage. So does it make sense to just play a Wasteland and scrying for another Wasteland effect? And then just get rid of both of their Wastelands and then we Dark Depths them? I think that makes sense. I have to get a Strip Mine. Oh, I have a Ghost Quarter as well. I guess I'll get a Strip Mine. All right. I'm gonna just use the Wasteland because in case I draw a Needle on Wasteland. So I don't have to use this Wasteland right now because I don't want to give them ability to use their Deathrite Shaman. If they were to activate their Wasteland, I could just hit their other Wasteland. It's super bad for them. Okay, so this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So because they do that, I actually get both Wastelands for the price of one, but they get to use their Deathrite Shaman is the trick. But now I can play Dark Depths next turn and should just be winning. Oh, I guess what they're going to do is... Oh. Well, that's problematic. All right, now I need a needle. Yeah, I guess that is a thing that could happen, huh? Crop rotation. Okay, so now if I play a Strip Mine, I can then crop rotation for another Wasteland, play Dark Depths, and use Elvish Spirit Guide. This deck is really cool. It has a lot of things going on, for sure. Kind of crazy. Crop Rot for Bajuka? Yeah, we could do that as well. I guess our Crop Rot has to resolve, which is probably unlikely. I don't know if that's better, actually. So, like, I can respond by hitting this Wasteland and Crop Rotting for Bajuka Bog, but that might actually just be worse, because if my Crop Rotation gets countered... This also lets them Deathrite Shaman. I think it's worse if I go for the Bajuka Bog plan. I think I'm just gonna let them, or at least in response. All right, I'm gonna try Crop Rotting. If this resolves, I win. If it doesn't resolve, I probably lose, I would say. Feels really hard for us to win if this doesn't resolve. Oh, it just resolves. All right, it's good that I have a single other land that kills a Wasteland here. There's no reason to do it now, right? Like I just go. Is there any reason to do it now? Huh. These are gonna make for like interesting YouTube videos because the play here has been fairly intricate. Guess I just go to my draw and find my draw first. I don't know if there's a reason to do it then. This Elvish Spirit Guide is just holding the whole thing together. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wasteland both their lands, and then I'm going to play Dark Depths and activate and make a 20/20, and then they have to beat an in-play 20/20. Oh, fuck off! Oh, man. That's super tilting. All right, well, maybe I can draw another one. Or another Spirit Guide. Or Needle. Needle also would do it. Or a Bajuka Bog. That would be pretty good too. All right, well. Yeah. All right, another Spirit Guide maybe? That was brutal. That was like absolutely brutal. No. This doesn't find Needle, huh? So this looks really losing. I guess if I get double wastelanded and if I play a stage, if I double wait. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. The plan might be play Misty, get another forest, cast Once Upon a Time. Like I'm gonna lose both of these lands now. I guess if we just, I don't know. Because we just are not gonna be able to stop Wasteland from stopping our 20/20. We had a pretty good plan to be honest, but it got wrecked pretty badly. I guess I can hit Bajuka Bog off of Once Upon a Time if I use my. I don't really want to tap my mines. The problem is I can't find Needle on Once Upon a Time. All right, I think I'm gonna just get another basic in play and cast Once Upon a Time. I guess this can get negated because I cast it on my turn. I'm gonna get flustered. I can pay for fluster. I will pay for fluster and lose out on my stuff. Oh. I played oh, they played a vigor this turn. Jeez, this is such a blowout. Okay. Do I get anywhere by paying? I don't think so. I'm not thrilled. I don't know if I played this game poorly or not. Like, I felt like my plans were coherent. They just didn't work. I guess I just hit their draw. No, I kind of need to hit. Yeah, I guess I just hit their trop. I can't ghost quarter myself, right? No. I mean, I can ghost quarter myself, but not like ghost quarter my ghost quarter, because sacrificing ghost quarter is part of the cost. What do I do? What do I do? Yeah, it really is top deck one of the 3 needles. That's, I guess, 4 needles. And have them not have any more interaction. At some point, they're going to take infinite turns off of this Renin 6, though. And that some point is like 2 turns from now. All right. This is so frustrating because I found the Bajuka Bog, but I can't use it because I no longer have double Ghost Quarter. What the hell? That's so sad. All right, well, I think I just do some Thespian stage baiting here. Yeah, the infinite time walks could be annoying. I guess that's 3 turns for infinite time walks. Yeah. Saga gaming, huh? That could be problematic too. All right, so if I can get both of these wastelands if I bait one activation and then ghost quarter the other. So the problem is I can't hit a wasteland because they'll just sack the wasteland in response, right? That will fizzle the stage, I assume. Well, that's fine though. Yeah, so I want to copy. Well, if they wasteland my ghost quarter, then I hit the other one. Okay, so this all works. So I just use this Thespian stage to copy this wasteland. Oh, I'm still gonna be. No, I won't. I won't be a mana short. I mean, they can take a bunch of time walk turns. We'll see how many they can take, I guess. I actually think we just did it because they didn't loop Wastelands. I think they were supposed to Wasteland my Ghost Quarter and then rebuy Wasteland instead of rebuying Tropical and then not playing Tropical. That feels like a mistake. Man, I'm so unsure. You guys can probably hear it in my voice, but this is like so much more unsure than normal. Very different playstyle. They just let it happen. Okay. So am I doing it? I mean, they are gonna take time walk turns here, but sacrifice. Wasteland targeting Wasteland. I think I actually successfully made a 2020 in this game. I should not be able to make a 2020 in this game, but I guess I was supposed to lead on. I might have been supposed to lead on Ghost Quarter, not on Wasteland. I don't know if that would have changed anything. Oh, they don't have a basic in their deck. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go to second main. I don't know, just feels right. And then I'm gonna go Dark Depths 2020. Okay, I mean, I made a 2020. They currently can take a bunch of time walk turns probably, but I don't think this was supposed to happen, but we did make it happen. All right, so now if they for every land in their hand, they can take a time walk turn. Hey, Slasher. But this is the best spot we've probably been in since getting Vigored. All right, first time walk turn. We knew they had a tropical in their hand, so I went 2-2. I got Furied and I think I made an okay deck with an okay pool, is my assumption. All right, so now another time walk. Okay. At some point, if they have 2 mana and a green mana, they can start, trying to get above 20. I mean, we fought really hard this game. I really enjoyed this game because it was a lot of thinking and some really interesting choices, right? I like how we played to our outs, and obviously we got vigored. Oh wow, we won this game. I don't think we were supposed to win this game. I do think my opponent should have cycled their wastelands better. I think cycling the wasteland better is the thing that could have happened, but we got there. Holy shit. So now we have a problem where they they bring in Caracas. So what do we bring in? I mean, do we keep in Vigor for like Needle and Saga? Do we bring in Endurance to hit the Ren and 6 lock? Do we play Leyline to hit the Ren and 6 lock? I need to find a deck list and see what it looks like. So the last deck list posted from Duke has 4 Deathrite, 2 Reclaimer, 4 Will, 4 Negation, 2 Saga. They're bringing in Caracas, Crop Rot, Bajuka Bog, Needle number 1, Soul Words, Soul Guide Land. Okay, so I think we might be supposed to bring in all of our graveyard hate. Stone Cold the Needle? I guess. They only have 1 Needle and Saga. We can just work at mitigating Saga. We might have to have a Vigor in our deck. I'm trying to figure out if we want to play all 7 graveyard hate cards. Don't think I want a Sylvan Safekeeper, even though they might. Oh, they're going to board in Swords to Plowshares, a ton of them. I guess I have to keep that in too. I don't need a Tabernacle, that's for sure. Do I need a Caracas? No, I don't need a Caracas. I do want a Bajuka Bog. I do want a Safekeeper. I do want a Vigor. I don't want more than 1 Vigor. I think I'll play a Vigor. How many Shepherds do I want? All of them? Probably all of them. It's probably just like a Scrying or a Once Upon a Time. Probably a Scrying. Like I don't think it's a terrible idea to have ley lines in, but I also don't think it's like good. So I'm just gonna bring in the Endurances and I'm gonna keep in a Vigor. Oh, true. How many Ren? Oh, I'm not even looking at a Ren and 6 list. That's kind of bad. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna break out 2 of those and play Scrying Vigor. You're right. I think taking out 1/1s against Ren and 6 seems good. All right, it's the same build basically. It just has Ren and 6s in it because the mana doesn't matter. Okay, I think this is fine. This is actually like, well, they get to bring in 3 Swords to Plowshares, which is kind of annoying, but I feel like the best card in this deck is Elvish Spirit Guide for some reason. I'm gonna keep this hand. It's not crazy good or anything, but our opponent's not really a combo deck. This is a hand that might have some grind potential. Let's see what happens. I probably play Once Upon a Time on their turn to avoid negation. I wonder how many Vigors they keep in. No Deathrite's probably a good thing for me. See if this gets flustered. I guess we could get flustered. Ghost Quarter, Yavimaya, Misty. I think we want to just go Yavimaya so that we can theoretically turn. I mean, we can turn 3 anyways with Spirit Guide, so maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we want a Ghost Quarter in case they have a Wasteland. Could see that being reasonable. Like, I probably want to play a basic on turn 1. No, I think there's a good chance they left in negation. So I don't want to give them access to negation on my Once Upon a Time. All right, Ancestral Recall is a good one. Oh, Black Lotus. I see. Shall we just play Thespian Stage Go? Shall we play... We also would have... What does we want to do? I think we just want... it's kind of unfortunate. Maybe we still go basic Lotus Go. I'm not really worried about casting Endurance right now. But if we play a basic first, it's like gives us a lot more range. Like they cast Ancestral, the likelihood they have a Wasteland in their... I guess they're not a 5 Wasteland deck. They are a 2 Beseiju deck though. I'm gonna play Stage Lotus. I'm gonna force them to have stuff. That's not having stuff. Are they gonna hold up Beseiju? Okay. Yeah, so that was my other line, is basic stuff. Okay. They're still casting. Oh, they have a needle. They have their one of needle. So I can respond, but then they just name what I so maybe I just make a saga. I think I just turn into a saga in response. Do I die? Does it die if I turn into a saga because it doesn't have any stuff on it? How does this work? I have no idea how this works. I think I want to turn this into a saga, because then they have to name Urza Saga, which will turn off their saga. Yeah, it does open myself up to getting Vigored, I guess, but... Okay, so I'm going to try that. I'm going to do Saga. So if they want to turn this off, they have to name Urza Saga, which will be great for me. And if they choose Thespian Stage, then we just need to top deck another piece of fast mana. They chose Thespian Stage, okay. So now I could just turn this off of being a saga, right? Just turn it off of being a saga. I can play a land and then make it a basic. I would like it to become a second stage saga though, right? Because then I can make tokens. Oh, they just have vigor. Good God. Okay, all right. So now I can crop rotate my saga. So I'm gonna need a way to kill a needle. All right, well, I'm gonna crop rotate the saga. Fucking Urza Saga. For anyone asking why I don't have an Urza Saga in my deck, this is why. Because it's a fucking enchantment. All right, see if I get flustered. All right, so I don't want a Thespian stage because I think I just want to get a Wasteland and kill their Saga. No. I don't have my own Beseiju because I don't really have a... Maybe I should have a Beseiju. I don't know why I don't have a Beseiju. It's pretty bad. I guess I have to... Like, I would only be able to find Beseiju off of Once Upon a Time. Like, I couldn't find it off of Reclaimer or Rotation. Maybe that's still fine. I didn't think about adding a Beseiju to the list, and I probably should have. Oh, I have Sylvan Scrying. Okay, yeah, not having a Beseiju in my list is criminal. Oh my god, I not having Beseiju in my list is absolutely criminal. I don't know how I missed it. Yeah, not having access to it. Yeah, I mean, my deck is like 10 times better if I have a Beseiju in it, huh? Okay, all right. Well, we don't have one, so we have to continue moving on here. It is probably worse than forgetting Time Walk, I would say. I didn't think about scrying is definitely the big thing I didn't think about. I don't think I've played a deck with scrying in it in Vintage. So that was definitely the oversight. Yeah, no Beseiju here is very bad. I don't know how I didn't miss Yavimaya, but I did miss Beseiju. Okay, anyways, we have to move on. I have a Ghost Quarter for Saga, so I don't need to get a Wasteland. I think I just get a... I mean, maybe I can win with 3/3 beats. It's possible. Maybe I just get a basic. Yeah, man. Wow. Having a Beseiju off of Scrying would be so good. All right, I'm gonna get a basic. Yeah, wow. It's good I didn't miss both Beseiju and Yavimaya, but all right, I am gonna start by just making sure they don't get any constructs. And then we get a basic and we scrying for her a basic and like we go for the endurance plan probably because I don't think it's super likely we have a Force of Vigor play. Jeez. There are only 2 sagas in this deck. All right. So they're going to get 1 construct. Let's get this guy in play, and then we can tutor for a Wasteland next turn. Man, I'm going to be pretty tilted all day, I think, because of this Beseiju thing. It's just a huge miss. I have to do my best to not be. All right, so they are going to make a big old construct. I guess if they have hard cast Force. Drawing another Dark Depths is confirmed not good for me. Oh god, they have negation, so they get to counter it and make a double Saga. I told you they kept negation in. I can't even attack because this thing's a 4/4. God, wow. All right, yeah. I mean, hell. All right, they only have 1 card left. I guess they get Black Lotus Lurrus, and then they can not rebuy anything with their Lurrus. Oh boy. This game went extremely poorly. I'm not sure the Beseiju would have helped us win this game, but it definitely would have given us an avenue. We can still draw our 1 Vigor, but we don't really have a way to cast it. They drew a Wasteland, too. I mean, my opponent's deck has 2 Wastelands and 2 Sagas. So it's a little on the unlucky side, I would say. What can I do? What can I do? I can't do anything. I'm not going to be able to beat these Saga tokens. I just don't have any way to beat these Saga tokens, right? Okay, I'm going to concede. I think I might need. I played 2 vigors. I can't imagine I'm supposed to play more than 2 vigors against 2 saga, 1 needle. I can't. Like, in most games, it should be pretty unlikely for them to get a needle out because we should be wastelanding their saga. But maybe I'm just not supposed to play Shepherd against the Ren and 6 deck, and I should just play all 4 vigors and just hope it works out. It's a pretty sad day. Yeah, no Beseiju here is, oh boy, Silver Scrying. You know why? It's because I looked at 2 lists. Wasn't Yavimaya printed? Oh, this was Modern Horizons. I wasn't looking at so I built this off of 2 lists. I built it off of an old Max Pullman list, which was pre-Yavimaya, pre-Beseiju. And then I looked at Arkin's Legacy list that was post-Yavimaya, pre-Beseiju. And so I just never thought about Beseiju because I just didn't think about scrying. It's so, like, that would make this deck so much better too. It just gives it an out to needle. Like, I don't think typically you need like a super crazy outs to needle because you are like a vigor deck. Like, when opponent is playing 4 saga, you're bringing in 4 vigor, right? So it's not like you need a Beseiju in your deck. But when this opponent is playing like 2 saga, 1 needle, like it's pretty hard to justify 4 vigor. Like, my opponent could definitely play an entire game without ever playing without ever playing saga or needle, right? Easily. All right, so I think here we are. I mean, Elvish Spirit Guide looks like the best card in this deck, I swear. Maybe we need more Elvish Spirit. This is why the deck has full 5 Moxen. If I had a Moxen in this hand, I could go turn 2 2020. So I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna go Forest Reclaimer and then stage go. Yeah, Forest Reclaimer. I do like that I didn't board in ley lines, just endurances. That seems good. Because endurance is good, but they're not always doing like crazy graveyard things. They're just Ren and 6 Deathray Shaman stuff. So I'm gonna go Reclaimer, Forest go. They're just gonna force it. Okay. And they have a wasteland. This is actually kind of cool. I can play a stage. Wow, I actually drew the fast mana I needed. I think I want to bait their wasteland. Maybe this is silly, but I feel like getting them to use wasteland and then responding with stage activation is just so good, right? Oh, I guess not. I guess they're just a genius and they knew. Okay, so where do we go from here now? We can still just hold everything up, right? Maybe they'll use wasteland in response now. No. Hmm. Now they can't do anything with this wasteland. Unless they have a second wasteland, in which case we look like an idiot. Okay. Needle. Yeah, this deck is really hard. I don't feel like I'm playing very well. There's just so much stuff going on. Lots of like very intricate timing windows. This is a tough deck to play. This just happens. All right, so I name Wasteland. And then I pass. If they have... There's no lands in the graveyard. So just on their upkeep, I'm making a 20/20, right? They can have Beseiju. But I have Endurance. So like they can't have the mana to play Beseiju. So I just go Thespian Stage. I guess this doesn't play around... Okay, so this doesn't play around one of Caracas. But it does play around them having a mana and playing Beseiju, which is a 2 of. Okay, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Stage, Dark Depths. And then there is a timing window here where they can Beseiju me, but I have Endurance to cover. So they can eat this and Beseiju me, and then I would be able to Endurance the land that they eat in response. So now they have to have one of Caracas. Or Swords, I guess. Swords. Okay, so I'm just going to Endurance this in response so that I don't get Swords. So now they have to have Force plus Swords. There's no Oko, they're a Lurrus deck. Okay, I think... Okay, that I felt like I played well. That one felt really nice. Wow. This deck is incredibly hard to play, and I didn't even build it correctly. Ah! That was sick. All right, here we go. Round 3, 2-0, up against powerful Wizard, X-Whale. Mox winner. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good, especially if they're on Hogaak. Like, I would assume they're on Hogaak, right? We have a Wasteland and a Caracas, and we have a turn to 20/20 if we hit on this Once Upon a Time. Yeah, I'm just not sure if the second Yavimaya is worth it. So definitely want to change out one Forest for a Beseiju and one Endurance for a Beseiju. But I don't know about second Yavimaya. I'm not convinced there's room. All right, I'm going to play Once Upon a Time. I'm going to get a... Oh my god, I got a Dark Depths. All right. Stage go. If they don't Wasteland my stage, they probably can't beat it as a Hogaak player. They're not a Hogaak player. Okay, it looks like they're a Hogaak player. I don't think you can beat a Resolve 20/20 as Hogaak. We have a great hand for Hogaak. Even if they were to Wasteland our stage, we have a Wasteland for their Bazaar. We have a Krakus for their Hogaak. I like what we have going on here. Elvish Spirit Guide once again being straight up MVP quality. Let's see what happens. Our opponent was watching the stream beforehand, so they do know what we're doing. What's our MO anyways. So we'll see if they like find a Wasteland off this Once Upon a Time. They did. They found a Wasteland off the Once Upon a Time, and they're probably going to hit the stage, I would assume. It's really sus for me to lead on stage because... Like, why would I lead on stage when I could lead on basic most of the time, right? But it's also quite hard for them to Wasteland here because I would need to have 2 free mana sources to be able to play Dark Depths or a Lotus. They're gonna do it. Nice play, nice play. Nice play. All right, yeah. Good play from them. This is why they are the large quantity of money winner. Like I said, we still have a nice follow-up plan against Hogaak. We got an answer to their first... Okay, they don't have a Bazaar. Interesting. So if they're all in on a Hogaak, then Caracas. So the reason you play Shepherd is because a lot of the format's interaction for your stuff is spell-based. So this just makes all of your green spells uncounterable, which is very important. Not in this matchup, but against the blue decks. All right, so this Reclaimer is going to find us our second stage. And then, do I Wasteland this Bayou? I think the answer is probably yes. Okay, Badlands, Supplier, Hogaak. It's not bad. Get it? Oh god, they have a second. They have a Hollow one now off of this. A Vengevine here is a very unfortunate. They hit really well off of this Stitcher Supplier. They hit both Bloodghast, Vengevine, and Gak. So there's a clock, but we have a straight up answer to Gak. The question is, yeah, we're actually still super fine. We just play our Caracas. I'm going to play out this Jet so that I can use this Reclaimer. I guess I have a bunch of blockers, so I shouldn't be too worried. This is obviously nice Wasteland bait as well. All right, so Bloodghast is coming in. I assume these attack. Maybe everything attacks just because... This looks good for me. How much does which deck cost? My deck or my opponent's deck? I'm not sure how much mine costs. Probably at least a little bit because it has Vigors in it. It has Wastelands in it. So I'm not 100% sure. I can build it later. We can look. This deck is so hard to play though. I'm not sure. It's a great... So what do you think about... I think blocking a Supplier is fine unless they hit more vines. I think I just take 6, go to 10. I can block and trade the Vengevine. I don't like that. Oh, Shepherd is like super expensive. But you can probably build this without Shepherds. All right, I'm gonna bounce this Gak at the very least. And then I'm just considering whether I'm blocking a Supplier or not. I can always get a Bog. Just gonna block a Supplier. So if I turn this into a stage and I play a Dark Depths and I use my Spirit Guide, I still have Caracas. Yeah, we should be winning this game. Unless my opponent plays a Deathrite Shaman to go up to 21. Should be pretty good shape here. Because I don't even have to use the Caracas to make a 20/20. Yeah, this is the kind of thing I was hoping. I was hoping that this deck had a good Hogaak matchup. Got him. Okay. Okay. That is a great way to start. Our opponent made a nice Wasteland play too, and we just had it covered. So let's go look at a quick Gak list and see what we can find. Let's go look at the no props Gak list, which is literally all the Gak lists now, I guess. So my opponent has Leyline, 2 Besajus, 5 Wastelands, Alpine Moon, which is I don't know how Alpine Moon interacts with. It would enter with no counters, right? And then it wouldn't have the ability, but the minute I killed the moon, it would be good. All right, so I think what we need to do is bring in ley lines, bring in endurances, bring in vigors, probably. It's not too bad because Shepherd is no good in this matchup. All my lands are good though. Needle is good though. Safekeeper is probably not necessary. Though now we're running out of things to cut. So I don't know where we go from here. It's possible. I mean, I kind of like endurance just as a stopgap plus a blocker. And I think we need to have vigors for Alpine Moon and Leyline. Maybe we don't need vigors, but we probably should have vigors. I mean, maybe we can get away with 2 vigors. Trim Petal, sure. That seems like one of the worst cards we could play. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. We could trim Petal. Maybe we're supposed to trim some combo elements, but I don't really like that idea very much. This looks really challenging to board out. Maybe we can trim like one once, one scrying. I don't even really want to trim scryings though. Or is scrying better than crop rot? I don't know. Like, I don't want to trim too much fast mana because a fast 20/20 is a nice way to win. Maybe we can just trim like more like 3 once upon a times. That seems like really bad, but I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna try this, but I'm not convinced that's correct. It is really heavily boarded though. Like, we have a lot of good game here. This is... my opponent has a Bazaar of Baghdad in their deck. Oh, I guess you haven't seen that. That's fair. Sorry. Yeah, my opponent is playing a Bazaar of Baghdad deck, so Needle, and the Wasteland deck, so Needle is quite good. This is a fast mana away from a turn 2. It has Vigors, but Vigors aren't even that good. 4 Vigors might be excessive. It's definitely possible. Like, if this Vigor was a once upon a time, this hand I would snap keep, right? So definitely feels like maybe I boarded in too many Vigors. I don't think I can keep this hand. I'd like a hand with Leyline, though. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, this is a lot of Vigors. All right, I think that I have maybe overdone it. Fair. Okay, here we go. This is a good hand. Keep. I'm going to put back a Vigor and a Reclaimer. Done. Leyline. Go. Yeah, we'll board better for game 3. I think I do want to have access to Vigor for like I don't care that much about Leyline, and I care a little bit about Alpine Moon. 4 Vigors is just too many. We'll probably board 2 Vigors out, put like the Scrying and the Once Upon a Time back in. They just found a Beseiju, which is worth noting. My opponent can now Beseiju my Leyline if they want to. Looks like they're holding a Bazaar. So next turn they'll Beseiju my Leyline and play Bazaar. I have Crop Rot. I have Reclaimer. I don't know if I care too much. I did just give them a mana off of Deathrite Shaman, but I think I have to. Yes, I know. Beseiju is like I think Beseiju would be less of a like. I think Beseiju would be less good if I had no scrying in my deck, right? If there was no scrying in my deck, I think it wasn't a huge deal that I didn't have Beseiju. But because I have scrying, I think it's just an incredibly huge misplay. Maybe we'll just top 8 without it, right? All right, so my opponent looks like they're going to go for the Beseiju on my turn. How do I want to play this? So they're going to Beseiju me, and I'm going to go up to 3 mana, and I should be able to make a 20/20. I also can Crop Rot stuff. This is not a big deal, right? I just play a Yavimaya. I play another Reclaimer. I can play another Reclaimer because I have access to Spirit Guide. I can just choose not to play a Reclaimer. And this way I can turn one of these into a Thespian Stage. Use the other land to turn one into a... Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to go for a 20/20. My opponent will likely be able to survive 1 hit off of a 20/20. I could, of course, Crop Rot for a Bajuka Bog and stop this, but I don't think that's actually good. I think just letting them do this, getting a forest, is going to end up really good for me. Like, if my opponent goes for Bazaar here, and they don't have a second Beseiju, then we're in great shape. Okay, that's interesting. I think I just win then. I'm not attacking because I don't want to give them a creature to eat. I forget to tap Depths. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I could have tapped Depths and played another Reclaimer. I wasn't thinking about it. Yeah. Instead of using Spirit Guide. Right. Yeah, I just didn't think it mattered. My opponent had no outs, right? So. All right. Cool. Deck's sick. Okay. 3-0, round 4 of 7. We have 67 players this time. Gotta keep winning. Up against a powerful wizard, Achilles. Got a pretty wide range. This is a very reasonable hand. Be pretty decent against like a Deathrite Shaman deck. I like this hand. Yeah. Being a crop rotation deck, it's pretty important to also be a Shepherd deck. Getting a crop rotation countered is a fate worse than death. I don't know. I don't know what Achilles is going to play. 21 days ago, seen on Grixis Tinker. I don't know if I have earlier. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm keeping this hand against everyone, so... they're going to lead on Once Upon a Time and play an Elvish Reclaimer. I did hit a stage, which is interesting. I don't have any fast mana, though, so I don't think it makes any sense to play anything other than Reclaimer here. They F6. I don't know if that means they're on GAC or Shops, or they just have no plays. See what happens. If it's GAC, we've got Strip Mine Needle. Unfortunately, I'd like our opponent to be on GAC. Oh, they're on DPS. Oh, that is not good. DPS. Well, we lose our crop rotation, I would assume. I am definitely going to strip mine them. I don't know what we're gonna needle. What would we needle from DPS? Oh, wow. Does this change things? I don't think so. I can hold up Bajuka Bog. Maybe I don't strip mine them. I play Thespian Stage, Ruby, and then, I mean, doesn't really do much. I like needling Delta and strip mining, or needling Necro, or playing stage and rotating for play stage, play needle on Necro, and rotate for... I don't need to rotate for Depths because I have a Depths. But I can hold up rotation for Bog, though, right? So if I play stage Ruby, use Ruby, and play needle on Delta, and then I hold up rotation on Bog, or like Reclaimer on Bog, and the next turn we make a 20/20. I guess technically I can also make a strip mine, which wouldn't be a wasteland, which wouldn't be good. Okay, so I think I like stage Ruby, needle on polluted Delta. I think it's a little bit better than needling Necro. And I'm gonna hold up Reclaimer because Reclaimer can get a Bog in case they go for a Yogg will kill. Yo, that's awesome, Soul King. Thanks for subbing. I'm glad you're enjoying Vintage. Vintage is a great format. Super fun, super accessible on Magic Online. I'm always happy when I hear people say they're going to join and play some Vintage with me. So we probably still rotate this forest into or I should say reclaim the forest. I actually like that. Let's reclaim the forest. Sounds like we're battling for the forest when we're really destroying the forest. Oh, we hit the Delta. Very nice. So I think we still get a Depths because that would let us, if we drew fast mana, we could strip mine and Well, no. What if I just get a wasteland off of this forest, and then I use the strip mine? No, I can't use the strip mine to pay. I'm like trying to figure out a way where I can strip mine and make a 2020. I don't think there's a way. But it doesn't make sense to... I mean, I have both a strip mine and a depth. So if I get a depths right now, I can play strip mine and still make a 2020. But if I get a fast mana, I can strip mine and 2020. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I don't know if that it makes the most sense, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to play a strip mine, which lets me hold up 2020, and I'm still holding up Bajuka Bog. I don't think it makes sense to strip mine. Maybe it makes sense to just strip mine them and go for another turn. But then I won't actually have mana to make a 2020 because I got rid of my forest. So that's bad. I'm just going to go for a 2020. I probably was not supposed to depths my... Well, then I wouldn't have access to strip mine. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which sequence was better. They have to kill me here, and they have to kill me without using Yagwell. So... I guess they could have Repeal or Chain of Vapor. But then we have a follow-up strip mine, so I think that's okay. It kind of feels like they have... I guess I could have waited and strip mine this so I can't get repealed, but... whatever. So if they do have Chain of Vapor or Repeal, which looks like they do, they have their one of Chain of Vapor, I can still strip mine them. They have no mana, and I have an active Reclaimer attacking, so I don't think it's a huge deal. Though maybe I want to get a green source. I don't think so. Maybe I played this very badly. I'm thinking I might have just played it very badly, and I was just supposed to strip mine them and wait one more turn. Yeah, I could see that being the case. So I think if I could go all the way back, I would not have made a Dark Depths with my Reclaimer. I would have kept my Forest. I would have strip mined them and just kept holding up Reclaimer activation. So I think I made a lot of mistakes here. Like right now, I don't get to hold up anything and I have no green mana. So I think I could easily lose this game. And it's my fault. Yeah, getting a depths instead of keeping my green source was just so bad. Yeah, if we lose this game, it's definitely my fault. I tried for like a really high value play or a really high or really low or really high variance play. No, I think getting rid of my green source is just bad. Like I have a strip mine in my hand. Like I can just choose not to play my dark depths, strip mine them, go for another turn. I just felt like making a 2020 against the deck that kills me in one go does make sense. But I kind of got uber punished by just... I mean, my opponent has drawn 0 lands, so... Hurl. All right, so this lets me hold open rotation, or I mean, lets me use my Reclaimer, but I think I just attack them at this point. I don't think this is helping me. I played this game very badly. Yeah, so they're just gonna Black Lotus kill me here. Man, I'm so bad at this game. This deck's really hard. I just had to take no action, and I would have won this game, but instead I lost this game. I played so bad. Well, currently they need to have a payoff. I guess if I had drawn a green source at any point in this game, I would have won because I would have crop rotation open, but I drew 5 consecutive non-green sources, so I guess they can... Yeah, they'd have to find a payoff still, but... Yeah, I had a lot of different options, and I chose wrong. They went top bottom. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure my best thing was to just not use my Reclaimer and getting a Depths. I think that was the worst part. The worst play I made, because like getting rid of my Forest was bad. My opponent can still brick here, theoretically. Mana Crypt Tinker. It looks like they have Tendrils as their last card. I mean, if they found exactly Tendrils, it does kill me. Or even Dark Petition. I could leave open Reclaimer, but they're 2-turn clock. Feels really bad to leave open. Oh, they twisted? Okay. I mean, that also probably kills me. 7-card hand with 14 mana. Play a second Reclaimer with the green source. Okay, I didn't think about that. That's not the same clock, though, is it? Yeah, I guess it is the same clock. Yeah, I could have rotated for... Well, if they do nothing, rotate for a green. If they do something, I can turn it into a Depths. Yeah, that does make sense. That was probably better, too. Cascading failures definitely occur in Vintage. They did play a Mana Crypt at 5 life here. I can't really do anything. I kind of... Yeah, it's up to them. I do think I made like multiple layers of mistakes here. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. My whole game plan was based on the fact that like they could at any point just like kill me, right, in one turn. So I was trying to win as fast as possible. And maybe like they have technically probably one answer to a 2020 in their deck, which I could have turned off by like hitting their C, but they could also have just drawn another blue source, right? Tinker, sure, but what do you have to tinker for? Do you have a Citadel at 5 life? Oh, they have a Wish Claw Talisman. All right, so I'm dead. Why are we tanking? That's just very straightforward. Blech. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I lost this game. I think... Ugh. Wow, they actually hit so little stuff. Wow, they almost didn't win. Yeah, no, I played very poorly there, so it's kind of my own fault. Just gonna bring in Collector Roofs, Chalice. I don't really think Vigor is actually necessary. I guess they could have a Needle, maybe. I just got kind of refocused after throwing the game. Like, this is probably one of our worst matchups, DPS. Anything with a Dark Ritual is probably very bad for us. I actually think that DPS is in kind of a decent spot if you're playing like a large number of Gaks. I'm having a hard time finding a DPS deck. I know one top 8'd recently. All right, anyway, I need to take out this and this. I actually think that I don't need Needle. I would rather play Endurance. I don't need Safekeeper. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to play Leyline or not. Don't think it's necessary. It doesn't feel like it's necessary. This looks fine. I'm just like, I guess I'm worried about Needle, but I can't find a stupid DPS list. Didn't it top 8? Oh, here it is. I mean, it's probably not this list, right? It's probably the other DPS list. There is one Needle. I feel like I should be able to win through a Needle by attacking. I just rather have no Vigors in my deck. I guess I don't need Shepherds, though, because they're not playing counter magic. So I guess I just bring in Vigor, or do I want to bring in Leyline? I guess they can bring in Blightsteel off of Tinker, but I can't really do anything about that. Yeah, I'm gonna just do this. I think it's okay. Chalice, scrying, crop rot. I mean, that looks okay. Yeah, all right. This chain of vapor is kicking my ass. Isn't it obvious this chalice should be on 1? No, it's obvious this chalice should be on 0. Look at what my opponent is doing. This is actual factual why this chalice should be on 0. Am I getting tinkered on turn 1 through a chalice? Cool. Hopefully they go Citadel and not Blightsteel. All right, they went Citadel. The game continues. I'm super happy they didn't go for Blightsteel there. They only have 2 cards left in their hand now. Oh no. What's happening? Necro? Yogwill? Are they gonna Yogwill and then tinker a Blightsteel? Oh, fuck off. That's some fucked up shit. Yeah, and this is why I had a chalice on 0. I mean, this is just a completely broken hand. I guess they can replay their Citadel, or they can tinker if they brought in Blightsteel. Looks like they're replaying their Citadel. Wow. I I played a chalice, and I vigored their Citadel, and it just didn't matter. That's fucking brutal. Oh, cool. They actually won the game. Sweet. They just get vamp for tendrils and tendrils me. Yeah. I mean, I brought in a great sideboard card. It was like super good. They had Lotus, Ruby, Petal, and I brought in Vigor, and I had all the answers, but not enough answers, you know? Not much I can do. Time walked into Tinker? Possibly. Or not time walked into Yogwell, maybe? It's possible. I don't know why my opponent just get vamp for tendrils and tendrils me. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I mean, I threw game 1, right? That's the big problem. No, definitely not. Not even in hindsight. Like, just waiting. I mean, I think they should probably be boarding in Blightsteel and not getting Citadel, to be fair. Like, I don't think you want to keep it. I think you want to have Blightsteel in this matchup with 4 Vigors, but... Oh, did they cast Time Walk off of Citadel? Is that what happened? They cast Time Walk off of Citadel. Yeah, if their top card isn't Time Walk, then we do have Crop Rot for Bog in response to Yogwill. It's basically just the worst possible outcome that could have happened. Bad beats. But again, like, it's hard to complain about bad beats in game 2 when you threw away a 1 game 1, so I don't know if like my line is bad in game 1. It's definitely a choice. Like, you're actively making a choice to either play around their one answer or to, you know, play slow and possibly die to a combo. And typically the way I play Magic is I try to make them have their one of answer. And sometimes it definitely comes back and bites you. All right, we're on round 5 of 7 now. We got to try to pull it together. After that last round, Chat and I went through game 1 of our DPS matchup, and we talked about what could have possibly been better choices. We think that there's like maybe 3 or 4 choices on the turn where the Reclaimer got a Dark Depths, and maybe the number 1 choices don't get anything. Keep your green source. Number 2 choice is maybe get a Wasteland, which is better than getting a Depths. And then there were multiple other choices in that match where we could have done some things differently, but obviously I was like way too tilted and made poor choices. So, you know, plenty to learn from and improve on, even in just one game of Magic. Yeah. I don't know about this hand. It's not exactly a good Shepherd hand because this Once Upon a Time isn't finding us. I guess if our Once Upon a Time finds us a Reclaimer, it's a good Shepherd hand. But Once Upon a Time can't find us Rotation or Scrying. I don't know if this is actually a keep because I think it's not good. Like, obviously, if I have it, I mean, I guess this can hit Dark Depths, and in which case I have a turn 2 2020. If it hits Reclaimer, I have a turn 4-3, maybe. Those are like the only good hits. I guess hitting Wasteland is not terrible. It's just like great if I hit exactly Dark Depths, which I don't know is something I want to bet my life on. 4 out of 53 is like pretty low. I guess like I would like a Reclaimer, so 8 out of 53. Nothing else is good, right? Nothing else is good. I'm going to mulligan this because I don't think this is a high enough percentage to be workable. Yeah, this looks better. I think I just put away the pedal and we go Once Upon a Time into Scrying. It's not great. Like, this hand obviously has its own issues, but I think this is better than the first hand. Unless like I said, unless Once Upon a Time hits one of the 8 cards, which maybe that's a good enough percentage to go for it, but I just feel like your backup plan is so bad. My opponent is on a mold of 5, though, so maybe this Wasteland is going to pull extremely strong duty and pick up some Bazaars, maybe? We actually have a really nice hand against Bazaar, right? We have a Wasteland, we have Scrying for Bog or Scrying for Tabernacle on turn 2. I'm actually pretty excited. It does let them do something like, you know, play a Deathrite off of a Bazaar using Yavimaya mana. Okay, so this is going to hit Stage, Karakas, or Depths. So I'm going to take the Stage, and then we have plenty of ways to... All right, I'm just going to start by scrying for a Depths, and then we can scry for a better anti-Graveyard Heart if that's what happens. If not, we're a couple turns away from a 2020. Don't know if that's good enough, but we have some options. Okay, so they are on Hogaak, actually, which makes us... I think that makes us pretty happy. Unfortunately, I can't really go for a very good Tabernacle play because Yavimaya will let their Bazaar tap for mana. That's kind of the downside of Yavimaya. So they found a Savannah. Okay, so maybe we're actually playing against an old Hogaak build, not a red Hogaak. Or maybe we're playing against green-white Wessel deck. Ah, green-white Wessel deck. Okay. Okay. So they can kill my Sapphire, but that's not gonna stop me. So we just play stage. There's no way for me to protect the stage from a wasteland. So I think we just play stage and get another stage. This stops this thing from flipping, and if they have a wasteland, we can like use wasteland. Yeah, I think we just get another stage. I don't think any of these other things matter. I guess Caracas could matter. Yeah, I should have used the Sapphire. That's fair. There's no reason not to use the Sapphire. Yeah, that was not very good tapping. I agree. Should just use the Sapphire and the Yavimaya and represent Crop Rot off of just Thespian stage. All right, so they do have the forest. They do have the wasteland forest, I should say. All right, they're just gonna hit the stage now, and they're gonna flip their trapper, and we're gonna lose our Sapphire next turn. So let's just get our use of our Sapphire, get our Once Upon a Time, see if we hit maybe a Reclaimer. We hit another stage. Yeah, I guess we'll just take another stage, sure. Like, there's a pretty aggressive wasteland from our opponent. So now they have a trapper that is a whatever those things are called, Trigon Predator. It's gonna kill our Dark Depth or our Sapphire. I assume they play some number of swords in their deck, but they definitely play more wastelands than swords. So I think I'm just gonna go. Oh, they have another wasteland. Okay. So now what do we do? This thing's gonna be a 3/4, which unfortunately doesn't block a 4/4. I wish I had a basic that I could like turn it into, but I don't. So if I play a Dark Depths, I can always respond to a Wasteland activation. But if I can't play a Reclaimer, but the Reclaimer isn't doing anything. I think we just play our Depths because they can't activate, and then next turn we can Wasteland and just hope they don't have a Swords is probably the way to go about this. Yeah. So they can't activate their Wasteland because we make a 20/20, and then we use our own Wasteland. Basically, we don't want them to have a Swords or a second Wasteland here. To hit for 4, but 4 is a small price to pay. They have 3 cards left in their hand. Black Lotus. Uh-oh. Nothing. All right, so now we can make a 20/20 and just hope to dodge swords. I can just wait, right? I don't have to do anything on my turn. There's like no reason to go for it. Like a second wasteland, so I just do it on their upkeep. So now I shoot their wasteland, they hit me back, and I make a 20/20. I guess what they can do is they can hit Yavimaya and have a swords, and we would just lose. I guess that's fine. Yeah. Right. If when you copy a basic, they can't get you. All right. So I mean, they're just on swords or bust. Yeah, with a reclaimer and a stage, we might be able to rebuild if we get sworded. No worries. I mean, that's a very, that's a very niche question. You basically have to ask someone who's played with thespians. Like, it only really comes up in Legacy and Vintage, right? Or I guess mostly in Legacy, not really in Vintage either. Yo, what's up? Thank you for another month of support. Very appreciate it. Very appreciate it. Good job, Justin. Okay, so we're playing against green creature.deck. I'm gonna bring in the big dudes. I'm gonna go find a Wezzel list. Yeah, it's a big line for sure. It's a very important line. So this is what we're playing against. We're playing against Wezzel's list, Luminarch Aspirant. So they actually have no swords in their main deck. So I guess they could have gotten like a Jite and gained 2 life maybe, or blocked with an Archon. Oh, they do have a Beseiju. So we have to play around 5 Wastelands. Oh, they have a main deck Caracas as well. Jeez. Okay, so we need to play around 5 Wasteland, Caracas, 2 Beseiju. No swords. We don't have to play around swords at all. And we have Archon. Okay, that's good to know. So we don't need Vigor because they don't have any needles. We don't need Bajuka Bog because they're not recurring anything. We're going to keep in Tabernacle and Caracas. We are a Thalia deck, I guess. And I want to keep in... I don't need to keep in Safekeeper because they don't have swords. They have Beseijus and things that attack our lands. I mean, there's no swords means if we can get a 2020 in play, that's game. So just trying to get a fast 2020. I guess this is not really an Allosaurus Shepherd matchup. This card doesn't really do anything. So I guess I'll just bring in Collector Roofs instead. I don't really think Collector Roofs are good against them either, though. I don't really think any of these cards are good versus them. I don't really have extra cards to play against creature decks. They just don't exist very much in Vintage. I guess theoretically I could maybe win with 5/5s, but I don't have a Gaia's Cradle in my deck, so I don't know how viable that actually is. I don't really, yeah, I don't know. I guess Collector Roof is good against Jite, so maybe we should just do that. Safekeeper, oh, Safekeeper is Shroud. Okay, maybe I'll just do that. Sure. Don't think it's a huge deal. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I like this a lot. I have Needle for Wasteland. I've got a Reclaimer. I've got my own Strip Mine. Yeah, this looks pretty strong. They played their Beseiju. That's good for me. That's very good for me. I'm just going to get a Reclaimer into play right now off of a basic. Strip Mine? Oh, they didn't use their Strip Mine. Oh, they have an Archon. Archon is really annoying. Archon is super, super annoying. And so is Strip Mine not being Wasteland. All right, how do we play this? Non-basic lands your opponent. So this entering tapped is no big deal. I can actually play a forest and activate if I want to. But then I'm probably going to get strip mined. So I guess technically, if I play this forest and they don't... Oh, they're just going to strip mine. This makes things very difficult. Needling strip is like something. All right, so I think I'm going to needle strip and play a fetch land. Play strip is like not very good. I guess like we can just like have them wait on the strip mine forever. Well, why don't we just play forest and hold open? Oh, you're just saying because they don't want it. They might not think we have a Elvish Spirit Guide, so they might try to strip mine us. Okay, I'm in. I'm sold. Well, then we can't make an instant 2020 though, right? I don't know if I like this. I don't know. I guess technically we can. No, because we'll have to use our stupid spirit guide. Okay. Oh, they went for it. All right. I wonder. So if I get a stage and I draw fast mana, I can get a 20/20. Yeah, it's the Wessel list. Yeah, I mean, I'm just get a stage here, right? And then I just Needle Wasteland if I miss. Or even just stage turn it into a basic would work as well. But that's not good against... Yeah, this should just become a stage. And then Moxen wins me the game. Crop Rot. Can I Crop Rot for... Crop Rotting for a Yavimaya only gives me 1 mana, or gives me just net 0 mana, right? So I think what we do is just play a Needle on Wasteland, and then go for it next turn. Trying to figure out if there's any way, because if we play... Maybe I do want a Gaia's Cradle in my deck as like maybe a way to make possibly more than 1 mana off of a Crop Rot. I think we play Forest, Needle, and that leaves me with a Reclaimer activation if I need it. I'm not convinced Tomb is good. Dark Depths doesn't get me mana because it enters tap because of Archon of Emeria, so that's not true. So I can technically block this Outland Liberator, Crop Rot my forest into a forest, and then Reclaimer my forest into something else. But then I won't be able to Depths next turn, so I'll just take the extra 2. It's fine. So my opponent has to be on second Boseiju to stop me. Guess I can make like a bunch of Archons. Okay. I don't know. It feels like a waste, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe if you just turn it into... No, I need to turn... No, like I have to turn it into... Yeah, I guess I could just... I'm like almost out of forests. Maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, I probably should still do it so that I have... Well, I'm always going to have this, right? Because I'm going to lose the stage and the depths, and it's going to be a 3/3. Okay. I don't think it matters. All right, so they have a little tempo to deal with here, but I'm gonna probably Tabernacle them next turn too. Should be annoying for them, hopefully. I just don't see any answers in their deck to this, so unless they change the Weiso list significantly, this should just be game. So they can put this on the Trap Breaker. That's not good. No, we don't have this step. I don't think the step is worth playing in Vintage. I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I felt last time I tried this kind of deck, because I didn't feel like the step was good enough. There's just like not that many like decks that have swords or anything like that. So they have 3 mana to pay for 4 creatures. Yeah, they're off it. That feels good. That feels good. I could have done some things in terms of sequencing slightly better, I would say. But in terms of like, if our opponent's gonna play 0 Swords to Plowshares, 0 Solitude, I don't know why they're not playing any Solitude. This deck can definitely play Solitude. They're playing 4 Thalia, 4 Stoneforge, 4 Archon, 4 Asp. Like maybe they just feel like they're gonna win every matchup that you would need swords against. That could be true. That could definitely be true, right? Like, I think almost all matchups where you would want swords in Vintage that this deck will probably win heads up against, because like you're outsizing the mono white deck. Like the only thing you could argue is you might want a swords for Murktide Regent. So I think you should play Solitude in the sideboard of that deck, if I had to guess. Well, they're playing like Karakas and Containment Priests, and well, I guess Containment Priest doesn't stop Hogaak. They're playing like Sanctifiers on Vec. I don't know. I think you should play some Solitudes in the sideboard of that deck, I would say. Maybe swords, but I think Solitude's better when you... If you're not constrained by Lurrus, I like Solitude. Here we are, round 6 of 7 with our mono green Depths deck. We're up against Mad Max, who... What? I was going to say Mad Max is a very dedicated and powerful Hogaak wizard, but that's a Lurrus across the table. So maybe that means we're playing against another one of those 4-color Deathrite Shaman Lurrus decks. I don't think we're allowed to keep a hand that doesn't contain mana against one of those decks, so, or like lands. So I'm going to mulligan this hand. If we get Wrenn and 6, I'm going to be super upset, but I do like this idea, and I'd probably just put away one of the fast manas. I'm going to get to fetch a basic and play an Allosaurus Shepherd, which means I have a lot of their best things countered. We have to see. I guess technically they could be on Breach or White Weenie, but I would say it's likely to be on the 4-color Deathrite Shaman deck. Hopefully it's not the red version, the 5-color version. Because Wrenn and 6 is really annoying. What is that? So this is probably the 4-color Standstill version. My opponent has just slammed an Aether Spellbomb against our token 2020 deck, which is definitely going to make things really annoying. We're going to have to find a Needle or a Vigor to beat that one. Or maybe we can get him to use it before we find a 2020. Can't counter this, which is good. We definitely want to get this in play now. I'm probably going to play the Jet as well. I suspect they're on 4-color, no red, standstill nonsense. I really don't like standstill in these decks, but the original deck list had standstill in it, so it's been able to carry through pretty well. Maybe they'll play some swords in their deck too. That'd be pretty unfortunate if I like get my Shepherd sorted and then they counter my Reclaimer. Or like any manner of getting my crop rotations countered. The good news is I can probably respond to a Swords with a crop rot if it's actually good. The problem is I can't really go for a 2020 until we solve the Aether Spellbomb issue, and we might never be able to solve the Aether Spellbomb issue if a Lurrus were to enter the battlefield, which is definitely problematic. I guess they could always bounce my Allosaurus Shepherd in response to a spell to counter it. So maybe I'm just supposed to play a second Shepherd and a Reclaimer with my Spirit Guide. We might have to win with dudes. This is kind of the hand where you would want to have a Gaia's Cradle in your deck. So I guess theoretically they could bounce swords and then counter, but I think it just makes sense to get all this stuff down now. I do kind of wish I had the Cradle though, because we actually have a sick Cradle hand with 3 elves in play. I have to think about it. I have to think about if we want a Cradle. What? Cycling Spellbomb. Interesting. So if they get a Lurrus in play, it's fine. But if they don't find a way to get a Lurrus in play, we are a couple lands away from just making a 2020. Maybe that doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe they're just trying to be as fast as possible because they think we're going to crop rotate into Gaia's Cradle and kill them with elves, which I wish we could fucking do. Man, yeah, it's really kind of disappointing right now that we don't have access to Gaia's Cradle because that would be pretty damn close. I mean, the good news is that if we hit like a land drop, we can just end of turn use Reclaimer, crop rotation, get a 20/20 possibly. We would probably be a mana short. We'd probably get like land, but I mean, it's possible we win with just like crop rot for a wasteland and go to town. It's definitely something that could happen. It's a very interesting game because a lot of things have just been awkward or weird. They chose to shuffle off of Ponder, and they do have a land drop to follow up. Obviously, if they just like play a Collector Roof, I can't really attack, so... Volcanic Island. Okay, so they are 5-color Lurrus Urza Saga standstill deck. A classic. A classic. Nothing quite like seeing Lurrus and a Tropical and a Tundra and a Volk. So here's the Collector Roof. Turns off my Jet. Turns off my Reclaimer. Yeah, I just wish I had a Cradle right now. That's kind of what it comes down to. I can Crop Rot for a Strip Mine, hit their Tundra, but... and then attack? Is that where I want to be? It's not an unreasonable line. It's keeping them off of Lurrus. It's keeping them away from swords. Maybe they have Bolt in their deck. It's very hard to tell what is in this deck list because I do know that Max likes to make changes, so it's not like he's copying another player's list. I guess theoretically it could be copying the Tweety list, which is what we played against earlier. So there would be Renin 6. Was there a Tundra? There is a Tundra. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is I'll hit the Volk with a Strip Mine and attack. And just hope that they can't do too many crazy things. I guess if they ever play a Tarmogoyf, we lose the beatdown plan. I just don't see us winning via 20/20 here. I also like don't have any mana. So maybe that's a good reason not to get rid of my last piece of mana. How many Volks? They only have one Volk in their deck. They have a... Wait, this deck list plays one Volk and 4 Deathrite Shaman to cast 3 Renin 6. What? Well, I don't need to Crop Rot for a fetch because I'm going to have 3 lands in my anyways. So I don't need to do a fetch. Because this is going to be 1 land and then Strip Mine will be the 3rd land and I can attack anyways. Sorry, Wasteland, I should say. I mean, I got their 1 Volcanic Island, so I hit them for 3. They're down to 13. And that puts them quite far away from doing Renin 6 stuff, but they can also just have any other land and get a Lurrus, I suspect. Every green land becomes a Crop Rot. To play Lurrus, they would need... Yeah, they have 1 Underground Sea, 1 Tundra. So they're going to put Lurrus in their hand. So now I need to hit another green source so that I can Wasteland the Underground Sea. Nope, I missed. Fucking missed. So now they're going to loop Aether Spell Bombs and I lose. That's so frustrating. Oh no, they can't loop Aether Spell Bombs because of Collector Roof. Man, this game got weird. I mean, it's going to be a standstill. Not an actual standstill, but like a standstill as in the game is going to come to a standstill. Because I can't attack into them or fear being looped by Spell Bomb. And they're just... Now I can attack into them. All right, if I hit a green source here, it's really good for me because I can attack and play another one. All right, well, strip mine is definitely problematic. Green, Dark Depths. All right, well, I'm going to play Dark Depths and pass then. I feel pretty far behind. I don't know what else. I mean, my hand wasn't great, but I was already on the mulligan. Oh, I forgot to take out my... What? Shit. What just happened? They used Force of Vigor on my jet pitching Renin 6. Yeah, they had a Renin 6 in their hand. Sorry, chat. I got 1 second. Okay, we're back, and currently don't really have much counterplay to what's going on here. I can't ever really block this Collector Roof because it unlocks Spell Bombs looping. So there is a clock, but I guess if you attack with Collector Roof, I can attack back with Reclaimer and then maybe double block Lurrus. So maybe I was supposed to attack with Reclaimer last turn. I kind of felt like I wasn't supposed to attack with Reclaimer because they could swing back with Lurrus. But maybe that was just a mistake. Multiple green sources. Standstill. Do you win on board with that? Or do I win on board with that? Oh, I should not have played this forest pre-combat. Don't I win on board with the standstill? Playing this forest was just so bad. I feel so bad about that. Why the fuck did I play this forest, man? That was so bad. I just like didn't realize that. Man, I don't know why I did that. I think I'm winning on board, right? I guess my opponent can at some point hold back the oof. I don't know. I'm the lands deck. Shouldn't I want them to play standstill here? At some point I make a 20/20. Yeah. I made a. I mean, I just should never have played this forest. Wait, I think I just make this trade, right? Like, how can I possibly? How could this possibly be bad for me? I guess they have an Aether Spellbomb, so I can't attack. Whatever. I mean, I'm gonna wait and get my lands and eventually make a 20/20, right? Like, they can't attack me. They can't play spells. This seems good for me. Standstill is not a good Magic card. Man, Standstill just does not look playable. Like, I have 20, what, 21, 24 lands in my deck or something insane. It's gonna be better for me. Yeah, I mean, they have to face, like, they have 2 sagas in their deck probably, and I have 2 wastelands left in my deck. Like, I technically have a 20/20, and they have 2 sagas, so I, of course, have drawn 0 lands, but, what's the guy to do? And I can also, like, get a wasteland with my Reclaimer once I have mana. Where are... I don't know, man. If I had a Besage, it would be even better, but I don't even know if I would like to unlock it. Come on! What is this nonsense? Standstill is not a card that has aged particularly well, in my mind. Alright, Thespian stage. Yo, how's it going, Ree? Alright. I mean, at some point they can just break the standstill, and we probably are not in a great spot. But Are they gonna break their own standstill? Great. Good magic card for sure. The problem now is we don't have any of our shepherds left, and we didn't draw any new shepherds. That is an issue. And we drew 0 Elvish Spirit Guides as well. So a lot of things have gone badly. I don't think I want 2 crop rotations. I think I want these cards. I think I'm now losing again, unfortunately. I think the minute my opponent cast Standstill, we were winning, and then we started losing just by not drawing lands. Like, if we had drawn lands during the Standstill, I feel like we would have been very far ahead, but... Now we're in a spot where all of our spells are counterable, and we're not really making a fast 20/20 either. So we're in a really tough spot for sure. But our opponent has a lot of dead cards they could have drawn, so... that's not one of them. Okay, a Tarmogoyf. Yeah. So I can actually block this oof if they attack by hitting them with a spell bomb or hitting them with a vigor. Kind of think I'm probably going to while they're tapped out, so I can't be flustered. I actually don't think this Sylvan Safekeeper is good. All right, this means they just attacking with Tarmogoyf, and are they forced it? Sure. They had a standstill. All right, so what can I do? I can play a land, crop rot for a Yavimaya, and oh my fucking no. They made the red mana off of Deathrite Shaman, and now I'm going to get strip mine locked. This is the stupidest game. Oh, it's so tilting. Oh, it's hella tilting. I hate this deck so much. Just 1 Tundra, 1 Volk, 1 UC, 1 Ruby, 4 Deathrite Shaman, 3 Ren and 6. Just ridiculous. Oh, we're dead. We're super dead. It's too late. Everything we do doesn't work. Because they have too many block. So yeah, we needed to hit fast mana on this turn, and we had to hit Elvish Spirit Guide. So tilting. All right, losing this game is ridiculous. We drew all we had to do was draw lands during the 6 turns of standstills, or Elvish Spirit Guide, or anything, but there's just nothing to do. There's just nothing to be done. Super frustrating. Okay, move on to the next one. No, we were dead on board. My opponent had 9 damage through blocks. If we had an Elvish Spirit Guide in our hand, we could have won through, or we could have made a 20/20 through Strip Mine, but we didn't have the Elvish Spirit Guide in our hand, so we didn't have any play. We actually probably win that game if in our, standstill we drew an Elvish Spirit Guide. All we had to do was have an Elvish Spirit Guide, and then what we do is we needle Strip Mine, and in response to their Strip Mine, we crop rotate. And then we just make a 20/20, and then we have a 20/20 and a blocker can block the 2 Tarmogoyfs and live, and then kill our opponent. So it was just like extremely unlucky to draw 10 cards and have all of them be bad. But we did put bad cards in our deck, so it's kind of on us. All right, so my opponent is going to have the same thing as last time, where they have 1 Needle, 2 Sagas, a Caracas, Swords to Plowshares, Ren and 6 Loops. It's just like our opponent from round 1, and I believe we boarded in too many things, if I recall correctly. We wanted to bring in not all the Vigors. We wanted, like, Shepherd is good, but not good against Ren and 6. And then Tabernacle is not very good. And Caracas is, I guess Caracas against Lurrus, maybe. Man. Okay, let's do this. Just don't think we can, like, I think Allosaur Shepherd is good against their deck, but I don't, like, it's so bad against Red and 6 that we probably aren't allowed to play it. So let's do this. All right, refocus. Can't control what cards we draw. Got to continue forward. See what happens. Yeah, his hand doesn't do anything. Okay. I think we just put a Depths away and hope it works, probably. They should have a force. Yeah, all right. Now we got to naturally draw it. Tarmogoyf, sure. Black Lotus. Why did you make me draw Black Lotus, Archon? Why would you do this to me? I didn't want to draw Black Lotus. I didn't ask for Black Lotus. This wasn't me. Black Lotus is not great in this deck. It's not bad, but it's not great. My opponent just has a Wasteland here. We're just extremely far behind, but I think I have to play it in case I just draw Thespian Stage off the top. I don't know. I think I'm just going to play one of these. I don't know if that actually helps us, but I think my opponent is representing Beseiju. So I don't think holding this helps us. We have a Black Lotus and a Spirit Guide of our own. I mean, this Goyf is going to be a 3/4 pretty quickly, and then if any land goes in the yard, yeah, all right, well, we're dead. Well, they're not using their Wasteland for whatever reason, so if we draw Stage, Needle, no. No, 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 no. Man, so bad. I just play another one of these to block. What a rough way to go after starting 3-0. Sad day. Yeah, we're just so far away from doing anything. We're gonna have to draw a Reclaimer, I guess. We can Needle Death, right? I don't know. I just felt like game 1 was definitely our opportunity to win, where our opponent like played a standstill when we were winning on board and had to crack their own standstill. I guess they're gonna play a standstill after this. Is this why they're attacking? What is this? Besage you an artifact to... Sure, why not? They did have Besage you, though. That was my read. I guess this doesn't play around Flusterstorm. Do I want Endurance or do I want Thespian Stage? So if I Endurance myself, they leaves them with Land Force. Or I can Stage and all I need to do is draw Depths. I don't have a very big clock, though. Endurance should be better. No reason not to do this now, in case they draw Force. Okay. I think waiting and giving them the opportunity to draw Force seems bad. Is my read on the situation, but... I don't think we're ever going to be able to eat the... Fuck off! I was going to say, I don't think we can ever eat the Goyf because they knew that we took Endurance off of Once Upon a Time. Bajuka Bog, huh? And then put Lurrus in their hand. I mean, it's not exactly a fast clock right now. If we just draw both pieces in a row, if we draw Reclaimer, both of these work. We can just draw fucking fast mana. All right. I'm sad days. I just think our opponent drew so much better than we did. Not me. My opponent cast a standstill when we were winning on board and I lost the game because I drew 7 non-lands in a row in my 21 land deck. I'm just in pain at all points. I mean, maybe they have another answer to Depths. Like, well, you think opponent doesn't have that at this point, Arkin? I see no reason why opponent can't have more Depths answers. They've only had like 4 this game. Oh, look, they draw one of their 2 sagas to increase the clock. All right, can I please get Depth Stage right now? There's just no way this resolves. It's just no shot it resolves. I guess what I can do is I can Ghost Quarter this now, and then second main we can play Once Upon a Time. And that plays around Hardcast Force, because there's no basics in their 5-color deck. I will attack them for 1 to help play around Deathrite Shaman eating and blanking a 20/20 attack. And then I'm going to do Jet Once Upon a Time, so I can still hold open Caracas, and I can play my 1 land drop off this Once Upon a Time. I missed, and I also can't play my Reclaimer. All right, I will grab a Reclaimer. Okay. Missing on my combo pieces in the top 6 is not good. This will shorten the clock slightly by blocking Deathrite Shaman. And technically could become a 3/4 at some point in this game. Because I could sack my lands to my Safekeeper. All right. It ain't over till it's over. Got a force? Of course you have a force. Why am I asking that question? All right. I have a stage. Looks like they have a vigor. Kind of looks like they have a vigor. Like with Deathrite Shaman turned off, my opponent's deck just can't cast any of its spells. It's absolutely nuts. So I technically could block this Goyf by doing a bunch of things. I'm going to choose to do none of them. And then I will have access to a Dark Depths next turn, but I need to draw a land. I need to draw a land that is untapped and makes mana, or a Dark Depths. So they're going to play a Lurrus so that I can't use my stage, maybe. Oh, Treasure Cruise doesn't shrink the Goyf? Brutal. In fact, it made the Goyf bigger. Fantastic. This is not a mana ability. These two abilities are not mana abilities. Actually, I think all three are not mana abilities. I can't remember. I believe because it targets or something, it's not a mana ability. I don't remember the exact ruling. Okay, my opponent is representing swords, but swords doesn't get you there. I need to draw an untapped land. And I can make a 20/20 and have Safekeeper protection. They do have Vigor. They didn't leave open their black mana, though. They left open their white mana instead of their black mana. Okay, well, I will turn this forest into a Dark Depths. And I will try to draw a mana. If my opponent had left open black mana, they would have been able to activate Deathrite twice and kill me. As it stands, they can't do that, so just looking for untapped land. Or a Spirit Guide, or a Moxen. That's like half my deck. Please? I hate this game so much. Okay. In this case, we will re-needle Deathrite Shaman and chump block Tarmogoyf. And then I won't have Safekeeper back up. I can never draw the things that I need to draw. It's so sad. I guess they could even just have Force here, right? Yeah, I still have to chump the Tarmogoyf, though, so I lose my Safekeeper, so I don't have access to... It's just really bad for me. Yeah, I mean, I think the best possible thing was to draw an untapped piece of mana, which is like half my deck. So Is this a Beseiju? Second Beseiju? Second Beseiju? Yeah. All right, never mind. We actually could never have won the game. I'm tilting off the face of the earth. So if I had not tapped my Thespian stage, then that wouldn't have helped me. Okay. So where are we at in life? We're at Resolve Deathrite Shaman, Chump Block Tarmogoyf, or Resolve Needle on Deathrite Shaman, Chump Block Tarmogoyf, draw... I don't even know what we can draw. Black Lotus? Maybe Black Lotus gets me to a 2020? Why are we tanking forever? Can we just counter it or not counter it? Like... I apologize to my YouTube and Twitch chat viewers. I am obviously very tilted. I would like to not be angry and tilted, but I am a little tilted. I hate this game. So why are we tanking on this? Just instantly cast Mental Misstep. For fuck's sake. Why are we wasting each other's time with this bullshit? There's no, you're never gonna cast this misstep. Like, what are you playing around? My 0 cards in hand? Fuck me. All right, so if I draw a 2020, I'm just dead to Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, all right. Doesn't actually matter. So if I draw a needle, then I'm dead to Deathrite Shaman attacking. Okay. So nothing matters. Nothing really matters. Wait, I can draw a Bajuka Bog. And then I can Bajuka Bog their graveyard. So I can Bajuka Bog off Reclaimer, but then I can't block. So I draw a creature here, maybe? So I still have play. I still have counterplay. The problem is I have really bad timing windows. So if I draw a Bajuka Bog their spells, make a 20/20, I still just die to attacks. No, I don't. I can block. Okay, so if I draw Bajuka Bog and no, because then I can't attack him. I can't make a 20/20 and block. I think I'm at too low of a life total. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't draw that card at any point in this game because I would have been very mad to have that card in my hand. Yeah, all right, I'm off it. That was very disappointing. That was like if we had to play a game 3, our opponent probably just times out. I don't know. Like I could have played better for sure. But I feel like I was in winning states in game 1 like most of the game. And I just did not draw the cards I needed. And then in game 2, my opponent had way too much interaction. I probably wasn't ever winning game 2. But game 1, like my opponent cast Standstill with us having a winning board, and we drew 10 cards total, right? Or maybe 7 cards total, and we just drew no lands. So, like if our first 3-4 draws in Standstill are all lands, they have to crack their Brainstorm early. We go up to 7 cards, and we just like very easily win. It's okay. That's Magic. Okay, here we go. We are now in round 7 of 7 with our mono green Depths deck. We're up against the deck 84 from Italy, who likes to play Grixis decks, has been recently playing Grixis Tinker Breach, which is the main line for Tinker and for Breach players at the moment. We do have some nice tools against Breach in the form of Vigor and in the form of Allosaurus Shepherd, and the main deck Bajuka Bog off of Reclaimer are some nice tools against Breach. Sideboard, we get some nice things like 4 Collector Roof, probably board in some Endurances, probably board in some Vigors. Might not board in Leyline. We'll have to see, because you can't really board in the whole sideboard. So I think it's likely we'll just board in Endurance, Oof, and Vigor, and maybe Chalice on the play, and then go for things like, you know, Needle, Safekeeper, Tabernacle, stuff like that to take out. I do like Vigor against my opponent's deck. My opponent's deck is a Saga deck. My opponent's deck is a Breach deck. My opponent's deck is a Citadel deck, Tinker deck. So I do like that. We are a little annoyed to play against Sphinx of the Steel Wind, but if we have a 20/20, we do beat Sphinx that way. Obviously, we can't kill it in another way. We could if we had a Boseiju in our deck. Maybe our opponent will think we have a Boseiju in our deck because we, you know, built our deck correctly or something. We'll have to see what happens. All right. Well, I don't know where my opponent is. I will see when that starts. Okay. We're battling. This is like basically a mulligan because we have a Tabernacle in our main. We don't, you know, we want this as a tutor target, but we'd never want to have it in our opening hand unless we're playing against Dredge. This hand doesn't do anything, so we're just gonna put it back. This hand is interesting. I think we're gonna keep this one and put back the Bog. We're one tutor away from a Dark Depths combo. We have uncounterability on our tutor via Allosaurus Shepherd. What is this? Oh, Merchant Scroll. Okay. We do have the ability to maybe needle something. I don't know what you would needle. Top Saga, maybe. Can't hit mana ability, so like can't hit Black Lotus or something like that. I'm just gonna go with Shepherd Pass. I think get this down, try to draw a green tutor, and then we'll go for Stage Depths. Don't think the needle does anything here, so that's why I'm not playing it. Obviously, I wish I had like green card Vigor, but we only have one Vigor in the main anyways. Definitely thinking about going up to 2 Vigors. For those who stayed to the very end, I'll show you what the changes chat and I made. More land drops are definitely not what we're looking for. I believe my opponent has basic island in their deck, so there's no reason to Ghost Quarter. What we're going to do is just go Stage Needle, but what am I going to needle? Let's look. Let's take a quick peek. Probably needle Top or Saga. Top, Saga, Dak Faden. Maybe Dak Faden. Saga is technically the best because they're the most of them. But I kind of don't want my opponent to play Dak Faden. Maybe that doesn't really matter. Kind of hard to say. They might counter this because nothing else is counterable. I guess they can bolt my Shepherd, and then anything can be counterable. There's should be only one bolt in their deck, though. I'm gonna name Dak Faden. And now we're just looking for Adepts. Draw Adepts, 4 of. Draw Adepts off of Scrying, 4 of. Once Upon a Time, 4 of. Crop Rotation, 4 of. Got a lot of hits. Obviously, my opponent at any time can just like play Moxen and Tinker me, or play Petal, or play Underworld Breach and kill me. So we do have that issue. A Braid on my Shepherd. You got it. All right, Depths. Another Shepherd. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Definitely not what we're looking for, but better than a basic forest, so. Yeah, this just looks too slow. Unless we were to draw a rotation. Maybe go for like an end step when they're not ready kind of thing. I just can't imagine they don't find Breach and kill us off of this Narset. I guess they only get one look. They found Black Lotus. Black Lotus, Breach, Merchant, kill me? No? Oh, it's a good sign. Maybe I should turn this stage into something else. Nah, probably not. Needle. Well, let's try needling this Narset. Can't imagine that resolves. Nothing else that can really be countered by my opponent from my deck, so... Unfortunately, I can't really stop them from activating Narset twice and finding the Breach, so... Really needed... some more powerful spells, probably. Yeah, this finds Breach, and they actually have the kill right away because they have Merchant for Brain Freeze. Does it find Breach? Survey says... We don't have access to a crop rotation. Yeah, found Breach, okay. Don't have access to a crop rotation. Don't have access to a Reclaimer, so... Alright, I'm going to bring in Collector Roof, Endurance, Chalice, and... I'm going to take out Needles, and I'm going to take out Safekeeper, even though they have a Bolt and a Braid. I just don't think that's good enough. I'm going to take out a Tabernacle, a Ghost Quarter, a Caracas. I guess they have a Lelia, but I don't think I care about a Lelia. I kind of want to get access to these Vigors as well. So I'm going to have to take out a bunch of cards. How am I going to take out enough cards to get 3 more cards out of my deck? Maybe I can just take out... I don't really want to take out Wasteland or Strip Mine. I just didn't want to take out Ghost. I just want to take out Ghost Quarter. Maybe we just take out like Petal and a Once Upon a Time and a Once Upon a Time. Sure. Like that. Okay. I don't even think that game was like that bad of an opportunity for us. Like if we are hitting like the first turn we have a Shepherd and if we hit like a Scrying, we probably win. If we had, if we had hit just like a natural Depths, we probably win. One of the turns, like there were a couple turns where they passed where we could have drawn rotation with Shepherd out and that would have been a win as well. So I actually think even though we kind of got clobbered in game 1. We had a lot of opportunities if we draw, slightly above average. This doesn't do it. That's an interesting hand. Okay, so I keep this hand for sure. And I play Black Lotus and we'll see if it gets countered. And then I could just put away Vigor and go... Shepherd, Reclaimer, Scrying for Depths, and then I'm 1 land away from 2020. Or I could put away Reclaimer and go... Well, then I won't have access to Vigor anyways. I think we just don't have enough green cards for Vigor to work. We don't have enough lands for Reclaimer to work. And this all does hinge on Black Lotus not being countered, which is something. I'm going to play Jet first. Jet Lotus. All right, sweet. So now I can resolve all of my spells. Is there any world where I'm not supposed to get a Dark Depths? Like, can I maybe get a Yavimaya? No, right? It's just a Depths. There's no Bazaar in our deck. Because I do need to hit a land drop before I can make a 2020. I wish I had... I'm just gonna get a Depths. I don't know. I can still activate stage next turn for a bog if I ever needed one, so this is probably fine. Flagstones is not really a vintage playable Magic card, I would say. It's quite hard for that to be good. All right, what do we got? Another thing. Okay, so now next turn I make a 2020. So I'm gonna play Depths now, hold open bog, and then yeah, Cradle. Yeah. Again, the Cradle rears its ugly head. I'm just not sure how often you're gonna have enough mana, enough creatures to make Cradle good. Expressive Iteration. Okay. All right, so we get to hold open 2020 and bog. So I mean, unless we get some brilliant tinker or something like brutal tinker, we probably are going to go to game 3. It doesn't give me enough mana to do 2020 and bog, does it? No. Ancient Tomb. I mean, there was games where Cradle was better because we were trying to activate our Allosaurus Shepherd. You have to like it's better in different points for sure. Like this deck does not use Cradle well does not use Tomb super well besides like very narrow cases. All right, well we were able to vanquish that time. I do think we probably still just keep this Chalice on 0. Feels good enough. Yeah, I'm not sure about Tomb or Cradle. I'm very sure we wanted Beseiju and Yavimaya and changing the configuration a little bit, but I'm not sure about Cradle. This is another hand, another sick. Now we're drawing all the Black Lotuses. Once Archon asked for Black Lotus, we've had it every game. We'll see if our Black Lotus gets countered this time. All right, well, now they know. They did mulligan to 5, though, and we have access to Magic the Gathering cards. If I had just asked for Lotus earlier, yes. All right. So, Crop Rot. All right, what do we do? I think the first thing we do is play our Black Lotus and see what happens to it. They don't play a Daze, do they? Let's check for a Daze. Daze check. No Daze. Okay, so I'm going to see if they counter this. They probably should, if they have a counter. They might just not have a counter, though. If this resolves, what I'll do is I'll play a Shepherd off a Forest. And then next turn we can play Dark Depths, Crop Rot, activate with Lotus. Uncounterably. That looks good. Okay. I like playing this deck. This deck makes for very interesting decisions and like very complex lines. And it's just a very like technically complex deck. It's very fun. Okay. Does it make sense to do anything right now? No. I can resolve an uncounterable endurance if I cast it right now. I feel like it's better to just try to go for the 2020, right? No, we're gonna break her out if we win. All right, does that mean my opponent has a Flusterstorm, maybe? Bigger. Okay, I'm just gonna play Crop Rot then. I guess this plays into negation. So I just play Depths and pass, and then Crop Rot, and their upkeep. I won't be able to make a 20/20 if they have Fluster, but I can pay. Ah, that's why. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a good play. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Now they're up to 3. Now they're bound to 2. Sylvan Scrying. So if I were to Sylvan Scrying and play my Thespian Stage, I'm 1 mana off. So I will just go land go. No. Is land go holding open vigor and endurance better than... Yeah, land go has got to be better. Well, that's assuming my scrying resolves. Well, I don't think I need the Reclaimer in play, and I think I would rather have it in hand for holding open all of my stuff. Oh no. Uh-oh, am I gonna get opposition agented? That would be quite bad for me. Imagine I get opposition agented there. That'd be crazy. Another depths. So I activate this and I cast Sylvan Scrying. And then if they have nothing, I get a 20/20. And if they do have something, then I probably just play a Reclaimer. If I had a Reclaimer in play, I could actually use the mana to turn this into a stage after drawing the depths. So it's possible... Oh, they disconnected. It's possible I did make a mistake in not playing the Reclaimer. Because if I had the Reclaimer in play, I could at least use the floating mana from my Lotus here. So that's possibly a mistake. Because if this gets countered... Well, the good news is if this gets like flustered, I can pay. And if... it's not great news if I get flustered and pay, because then I have no access to green mana. If I don't draw an untapped land on the next turn, I can't make a 20/20. I would have to play the Reclaimer. That extends the clock by quite a lot. The good news is I have access to Endurance and Vigor, and I could keep one if I wanted it. Hopefully my opponent comes back and just DC'd, and not DC'd because they're getting 20/20'd. See what happens. All right, they're back. Didn't think they'd do that to me. So does this resolve? They can have Hardcast Negation here. They could have Alt Cast Force. They can have Fluster. They can have... That's kind of it. All right, they had Force Alt Cast. All right, so they're down to 0 cards. But we actually are at a problem where we don't have access to our Reclaimer activation after this. So that's not good. That was definitely... I think it does look like not playing Reclaimer was a misplay, because I could turn this Depths into a Thespian Stage if I had a Reclaimer in play right now. I guess the good news is my Reclaimer will be a 3/4, which can put a clock on them while having access to Endurance and Vigor. They know about Reclaimer and Endurance, but don't know about Vigor, if I recall correctly. Obviously, my opponent's deck being at 0 cards is still very scary, right? They could still, like, draw Demonic, Ancestral, Tinker. So it's not locked or anything like that. My opponent might be debating, like, is their blue card better at helping them win the game next turn? Or is it better to force the 2020? Which is, I'm finding off for sure off of the scrying. Okay, it was Brain Freeze. So no, definitely wasn't that decision. All right, so I'm going to resolve my 1 mana 3/4 and pass. Definitely wish this was a land that produced mana. My opponent probably should only crack one of these because that increases the clock by a turn if they crack 2. But it is a 5-turn clock, so... we just want to draw untap lands that produce mana. Oh, we got Tabernacled. Interesting. I did not expect to be Tabernacled, but it's pretty good for us if we don't draw lands that we have a use for our mana. All right, we drew a stage, so that's good. That's a solid draw. Then we have to decide, do we keep Reclaimer or try to draw an untapped source? Probably keep Reclaimer. I'm gonna go with tapping the stage in case I draw a crop rotation or something. All right, I drew another Reclaimer. So now they go to 9. I play a Reclaimer. They go to 6. They go to 3. Yeah, that's the new plan. The new plan is attack with my 3/4 1-mana creature, better Delver of Secrets, and who needs a 20/20, really? Pretty funny. I don't know if I would bring in Tabernacle against my deck. Doesn't really feel like a card that does anything. Never hit the mana for 20/20 anyways. All right, so my opponent's at 3. I have access to an Endurance. They have a Vamp here. Wow. Do we die? They know about Endurance. So this is the final turn. My opponent needs to kill me from 1 life. If they have an artifact in their hand and they tinker for Sphinx, that certainly is annoying. Endurance doesn't shuffle, so nope. Oh, they wish going for Ancestral. All right, fair enough. Gotta draw multiple cards here to get out of it. Did they draw what they needed? Fetch land is dead draw. Red, blue. All right, I just cast Endurance in response. All right. Can't imagine they can win off that. Sweet. Ooh, baby. This was a good day, honestly. Like, we made some mistakes that caused us to lose our matches, so I can't be upset about it. We went 5-2 with a deck that I think is, like, severely misbuilt in the fact that it's missing a very key card. So I can't be upset. I like what we did with our brew today. I like this deck. So this is what we registered. And what I would register if you wanted to play this deck again is this list, which is only slightly different. So the changes are 1 Vigor main, 1 Safekeeper back to the board, 1 Endurance becomes 1 Beseiju in the sideboard, and then 1 Forest becomes 1 Beseiju in the main. And that doesn't feel like a lot, but like, I think having access to scrying for Beseiju to kill Needle and stuff is got to be a huge upgrade. I just don't know. I just missed it, basically, when I was deck building. I was looking at a very old list from 2020 when I started my deck list, and I only was able to update the 2021 card and not the 2020. Well, I don't know if Beseju's 2022 card, but I think it's 2022 card, so... I think this deck has legs. Obviously, this deck is not new. Like I said, I will always, give credit where I got the list. This is originally a 2020 list from Max Pullman, who used to play this kind of style of deck all the time in Vintage. And I really like this. in metagames where you don't feel like you're going to get combo killed super often. And now, I don't know if you can definitely classify the current vintage metagame as that. However, the metagame right now has a lot of Hogaak and decks that try to beat and like Deathrite Shaman decks. And I actually think this is pretty well set up to beat both Hogaak and those Deathrite Shaman decks. And that's what we played against today. We lost against the one Dark Ritual deck, and we lost against one of the Deathrite Shaman decks. But we beat everything else. We even were able to take games off of Tinker, which is sweet. We beat 2 Tinker players as well, so I'm very happy. The green tools in Collector Roof, Vigor, and Endurance have definitely increased the power of this deck. People playing Saga makes this deck much better. And then I think like having access to all of the best hate for Bazaar of Baghdad in your main, like you're playing 4 Needle, Tabernacle Strip Mine, Ghost Quarter Wasteland, Bajuka Bog Beseiju, all in the main. You have a great time up against decks that are using Bazaar of Baghdad, which is great. Nope, I think Saga would make this deck worse. I would not play a Saga in this deck. Definitely do not play Saga. Yeah, you also have Caracas for Hogaak. That was a change that I did make to make sure that I had the cleanest Hogaak matchup possible. I think the way I look at it right now, the most played deck in the format is Hogaak, and you should be aiming to beat that with your deck choice. So that's kind of what we did today, and that's kind of why it worked out. Played against Hogaak a couple times. We also played against a couple decks that think they beat Hogaak. So thank you for watching and making it to the end of this video. If you want to support this channel, there's a Patreon. You can check out that link in the description on YouTube. You can check out the YouTube channel anytime. Subscribe there. Follow on Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch. All of those things are really appreciated and help me grow the channel. If you want to see me play your vintage deck list on stream or in a recording that will go on a YouTube video, the Patreon has a link right now. We are starting up donation deck lists. There will be a couple more of those in the queue in upcoming videos. So get excited for that. I have some great lists that we're going to play in the very near future. New videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. I will see you then.